Hi everybody, it's Miss Nardini here. Today we're going to be adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So our goal, surprisingly, is to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So adding and subtracting is something that we've done before. We just need to review a little bit. So when you see a plus, you need to make sure that you're adding everything together. I know it seems obvious, but that's going to be one of your biggest mistakes. So we're just combining like terms. So 2x squared plus x squared is 3x squared. Then I've got an x plus another x is 2x. And then I have a negative 5 plus 6 is 1. And that's all. It's pretty easy as long as you take your time and don't make silly mistakes. Number 2 is subtraction. So it's important that we distribute this negative 1 here. So I've got 2x squared minus x minus 4. Nothing changes there. Then I've got minus 3x squared plus 5x minus 3. And then I can combine my like terms. So 2x squared minus 3x squared is negative x squared. Then I've got a negative x plus 5x is positive 4x. And then lastly, I've got a negative 4 and a negative 3 is a negative 7. And that is my final answer. Again, this is stuff you know how to do. It's just very, very important that you recognize what operation you're supposed to do. So in example 3, there is no symbol, which means that we're supposed to multiply. So we know how to distribute. We know how to multiply binomials. It's really the same thing. I just have to multiply both terms in the first binomial by all three parts in the second polynomial. So I need to do x times 5x squared, x times 3x, and x times negative 1. So x times 5x squared is 5x to the third, x times 3x is 3x squared, and x times negative 1 is negative x. But I can't forget about this 2. I have to distribute that to everything also. So 2 times 5x squared is 10x squared. 2 times 3x is positive 6x, and 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. And then I can combine like terms. So there's nothing for me to combine this 5x to the third with, so I leave it as 5x to the third. I've got 3x squared plus 10x squared is 13x squared. I've got a negative x and a positive 6x to combine to 5x. And then lastly, I have this negative 2. Something you might want to do is cross things out once you write them below, and then you know you've accounted for every piece. All right, let's move on to, example 4. So it's the same sort of thing here. I need to multiply everything in the first polynomial by everything in the second polynomial. So don't write this down yet. You could distribute everything here, then my second term, and then the 4. But see, now it starts getting all messy, and I don't like that. I like it to be organized. So something I like to do is called a lattice square. Basically, I have 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 terms right here. So I'm going to need a 3 by 3 box. And I'm going to use that to keep my stuff organized. It's just another way to do these problems. In this case, I need a 3 by 3. My box is a little awkward, but that's okay. So my first polynomial is 2x squared. Then I have a negative 3x and a negative 4. And my second polynomial is negative 2x squared, 5x, and negative 3. So I like this method for two reasons. It keeps my stuff organized. So when I'm multiplying and doing all this distributing, I don't lose anything. And also, it gives me a good visual of the fact that I'm just trying to find the area of the square. So I multiply now. Negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. And then x squared times x squared is x to the fourth. And then I have a 5x times 2x squared is 10x to the third. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6x squared. And I keep going. Negative times a negative is a positive 6, x to the third. negative 15x squared. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 with the x. I've got positive 8x squared, negative 20x, and positive 12, right? I'm just multiplying. Again, if you want to rewind and watch again, feel free to do so. So the only thing that's left is to combine like terms. If you want, you could write all these out and then combine them, but I like to just combine them in my box. So I've got negative 4x to the fourth. Then I've got 6x to the third plus 10x to the third is 16x to the third. Then I've got 8 minus 15 is negative 7. Minus 6 is negative 13x squared. Negative 20 plus 9 is negative 11x. And then lastly, a positive 12. And that is our answer once we've combined all our like terms. It's great because I'm all organized and I didn't lose anything. And personally, I like that method. If you don't, feel free to do the distributing we did in example 3. So let's move to example 5. So again, you can decide what method you want to use, if you want to just distribute or you want to use the square rectangle, which is my preference. But this case, I need a 2 by 3. So let me start over. That one's bad. I need a 2 by 3 because I have one polynomial with 3 terms, so my 4x squared, my x, and negative 5. And then my binomial, it just has 2 terms, so I just need 2 spaces for it. So that's where I get a 2 by 3. And then again, I just have to multiply and combine like terms. So 8x to the third, 2x squared, and negative 10x just by multiplying. 4x squared times 1 is 4x squared. X times 1 is x. And negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. And now I'm going to combine my like terms. 8x to the third. 4x squared plus 2x squared is 6x squared. 1x minus 10x is negative 9x minus 5. And there we're done. I think it makes the problem a little bit easier. All right, the last one that we are going to do is 2x minus 3 to the third. So I know you guys all must be thinking all sorts of stuff, and you know exactly what to do. But I want you to stop and remember what it means to have an exponent. It means that I have 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. 3 times because I have an exponent of a 3. So anytime you come across something like this, you're going to want to multiply out the first 2 terms. This, you could use the square. It's the same thing as foiling. Since we have 2 binomials, whatever you want to do, you end up getting 4x squared minus 12x plus 9. That doesn't really look like parentheses. Times 2x minus 3. And I know you guys could get that on your own, so just make sure you're checking your work. And again, I have one with 3 terms and one with 2, so I need a 2 by 3 rectangle. So I've got 4x squared, negative 12x, and positive 9, and 2x and negative 3. So I multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. X squared times x is x to the third. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. X times x is x squared. 9 times 2 is 18x. Then I've got negative 12x squared. Make sure you guys are extra super careful with these negatives. Negative 12 times negative 3 is positive 36x, and then minus 27. And we'll combine our last combine like terms for the last step. So 8x to the third. Then I've got negative 36x squared plus 54x and minus 27. So I hope you enjoyed the notes, and just remember the key to getting these problems right is taking your time, because all you're doing is multiplying and adding and subtracting, and it's stuff that you can do as long as you don't make those silly mistakes. So come prepared. If you have any questions, make sure you're ready to ask them when we see each other next. See you later.